Nope, nope. Here we go. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Sunday Saucy Sunday. I am Meatball Saucy. Today, I am extremely excited about the topics we're going to be covering today. I've got things ranging from VR accessories, virtual pinball, home arcade, PC gaming, you name it, we got it for you today, guys. I appreciate you all stopping by today. Again, it is this is something I enjoy doing, but it is so much more fun for me when you guys are here to experience this discussion and the insights that I'm going to bring to you today. Um, let's say hello to our friends in the chat. We got Dr. Doobie here. What's up, brother? Good to see you. My good friend Mark Hollywood Polo, how you doing? Good Grief is here. Brian, the man Vader, and the myth, the legend, dude. You guys know him. He's around, and he is always on the top of the leaderboards. Um, guys, again, thank you for stopping in today. So a few weeks ago, I guess it's been about a month or two now, I posted a video unboxing a product that I was extremely excited about, and it was a pretty darn cool product. But you know, there's a little bit of a story along with that. So um, it was this Woosier haptic vest for VR, and it's not a cheap piece of equipment. It's $499 for this set, and the vest came, and I was super excited. It comes with a liner and a chair mount and all of this other cool little accessories. So the kit itself was pretty solid. The look of the vest was fantastic. Um, Unfortunately, after that, after that unboxing video, I actually started to use the product, and that's where things kind of went the other way. I, I I wasn't excited about what the experience was, and I strapped this thing to my chest and jumped into a couple of VR games, and the first thing I noticed was, oh my gosh, there's no actual like immersiveness. There's no interactivity with this product. It was just a big giant uh, subwoofer that I'd strapped to my chest, and so I would go into a game and I would feel the vibrations, and I'd just be constantly, and it was it was not what I was looking for. I was looking for more of a, if I get hit in the back, I want to feel it in the back. If I get hit in the front, I want to feel it in the front. And this Woosier product just didn't do it for me. And so within days of filming and putting out that unboxing video, I literally contacted Woosier and opened an RMA, and this thing was going back, guys. I mean, it wasn't there. I was really looking forward to a solid experience, and so while the RMA process was really good, everything about the Woosier company and what it is fine. I can't complain about my customer experience, and the product was what it was advertised, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't quite the experience that I was hoping for in VR. So I really eventually did just go to the tack suit, and this is the product that I really was looking for. From the immersiveness, the integration that's native with different VR games, and everything that it is what you would expect from a really solid, interactive, and directional haptic experience. This product, for what is exactly the same price. So you can get this suit for the same price as the Woosier at $499, and you can have it work with your Steam VR, your MetaQuest, and your PS2, or sorry, PS5 VR2. And it is a great experience. And for slightly more, in the $650 price range, you get these great wrist straps that come along with it. And you know, like I said, I was extremely hyped up about the Woosier. I can't tell you how much better the B haptics is. And if you want that overall, you know, haptic experience, but just kind of a vibration and experience that's associated with just the sound and ambient sound, the B haptics does the same thing. But at the same time, it also gives you that true directional haptic feedback and haptic experience. So, you know, I've just got to say right off the bat that B haptics is the way to go. If you're in the market for a haptic experience to increase your VR immersion, don't bother with Woosier. Woosier is fine, but go with the B haptics. And that's really all I wanted to say, just because I had pumped this up and I wanted to make sure that there. Yeah, all right. So like I said, I just wanted to get that kind of piece knocked out, just because we have been doing that. Just because I'd push that out to my community and there. And oh, we've got Detroit Love has joined us. Jason Little Alien is here. My man Rebel, what's up, dude? Good to see you guys. Thank you. And Doc Doob asked, did I get the tack sleeve too? I did. I actually, like I said, for the extra, you know, the tack sleeve is $199 by itself. But with this kit and with this set, you get a $50 off. So it was like getting free shipping along with it. So really, really, really good. Billy Woods, how you doing, man? Good to see you guys. Thank you for stopping by, you guys. I definitely appreciate it. Again, we're going to go through a lot of different topics today. And I've got a special surprise at the end that I'm going to be doing a little bit of a reveal with regards to a controversy in the VPN community that's been around for a long time. So stay tuned and you will see that. But next up on our agenda today is I want to share with you my new additions to the VPN, what I have been playing with and doing. And first up on the list is some releases from Zandy's Arcade. Those of you that are familiar with these products, you will be very familiar with Zandy's Arcade. He's got a lot of really great tables, but this first one here is the Tenacious D, and this has got a fantastic soundtrack. Now, this is really just a reskin of the Firepower 2 virtual pinball experience, so if you are familiar with that, it's got a lot of the same rule sets and so forth, but the additions of the ramps and all of the visuals and the modeling done here, Zandy did a fantastic job with this. And again, you got to kind of be a Tenacious D person to appreciate this, but it really is a great play experience, and it takes Firepower 2 to that next level. It is really cool, and you can see here, like I said, the models are rotating. I think if we were to actually play this video through, you get to see some green electricity and ball locking. It is a beautiful and fantastic experience. So even if you're not a Tenacious D fan, but you're into there it is, the green electricity. There it is. Like I said, fantastic look here. Yeah, it is. This is just so awesome. Thank you, Detroit Love. Again, I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you enjoy the content, man. I do appreciate you stopping by. But again, so yeah, this Zandy did a fantastic job here, and I, again, can't say enough about it. But then you take this Tenacious D and you move it up to the next level, and Zandy gave us another table almost, within a week or two of Tenacious D, and we ended up getting Captain Spaulding Museum of Monsters and Madmen. This is definitely an adult themed table. It is based off of the J.P. Solis's Godzilla table layout, and a lot of the rules are based off of JP's rules, but Zandy's thrown in enough to make it unique and fun. The call outs here are great. The artwork is phenomenal. I mean, look at that bucket of chicken spin, man. That's just so great. I have such a high level appreciation for these the 3D modeling that's going on in some of these tables these days. It is a really cool virtual pinball experience. If you haven't had an opportunity to download and try this table, I highly recommend it. It is a really great experience. The next one we're going to look at is from Tomb G. Tomb G did The Last Airbender and Aquaman, which were also really good tables. But this new table that came out here recently was just a straight up Tomb Raider version. Tomb G, Tomb Raider, yeah, right? How can you go wrong? Jason, do yourself a favor and do it. Yeah, for sure. Now, again, Tomb G did a really nice job with this. I'm not 100% sure if this is an original or what this was based on. I can't say for sure, but it is really, really beautiful. I mean, if you look at the lighting, and it is very taxing, and so my video of it is not that great, but I will tell you that the play experience is solid. The music and the sound is great. The actual missions and objectives in the table are really, really good. Like I said, Tomb G, this kind of came out of nowhere. I hadn't heard anything about it. Most of the tables I usually hear something about, but this one was kind of a surprise, and it was a pleasant surprise. So, it's again falls into that category of, hey, here is a table that is coming from the ground up and created from scratch, and it really is a good play experience. So, again, head over and to VP Universe and give this a download, give it a try. It's a really good table. The next one here is Retro Rami, or from Retro Rami. And those of you that have played the Spooky Wednesday table, a lot of fantastic innovations in that table. But we got something special here. Freddy's Nightmares. Now, this table, and unfortunately I didn't catch it on the video, this table has got all kinds of cool stuff to it. Obviously the pup pack. Pup pack is great. It brings and incorporates, but look at that DMD. That DMD has full motion video sequences built into this DMD. It's got a rotating movie poster so that as you're going through the missions, you see which Nightmare on Elm Street you've actually got. Is this a table that you've played before? Well, if you've played Diablo or Thundercats or anything else, you've played this table. I mean, it is a Diablo reskin. But damn, guys, this is Nightmare on Elm Street to the next level. And I like the Nightmare on Elm Street that exists and the real pin, but I love the mission sequences, the gameplay. Every part of this is so damn good. I just sat here for, I think, like almost 2.5 hours playing through this to try to get more and more of the missions completed, to try out all the different sequences and the welcome to prime time, bitch. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's there. It is all there. So, you know, I cannot, you know, don't care if you're a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street or not. This is something you must try. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Head over and download this. You know, Retro Rami has given us a couple of really great things. Stock Jock has joined us. Welcome, sir. Good to see you. And let's see, what do we have next? I think we've got our boy Remdoise. So those of you that don't know, I've got a special playlist devoted specifically for Remdoise. And you fans of old school NES Mike Tyson's are gonna love this. This is an original by Remdoise. He got a little bit of help from Joey Picasso, and they have created a really fun game. Not to mention pinball, but it's a really fun game that kind of takes you through what is the Punch-Out video game, but in a pinball form factor. So the way this plays is you've got two little sinkholes there on the left and the right, and the objective here is to either do light all 4 of the spar lights or light all 4 of the reps. What that will do is that will then light all of the Fight Night drop targets that you must then knock down. Once you knock down the drop targets, you either hit the right orbit to get the star punch, to get your star punch, or you hit the left orbit to light and spin, or hit the spinner to light the word knockout. Once that's done, the model actually in the center becomes available for that final punch, and you hit the top hole. Now, the really, really cool part about this is the fact that if you drain, if you actually have a drain here, the mechanic that they built is to rapidly tap the flipper buttons. Just like when if you got knocked out in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, you're rapidly tapping those controller buttons to get back up. And this will actually create a ball save for you if you're able to actually do it fast enough and get up through that. Like I said, this is just fun. This is a great pinball experience, but it's a great game too. And Remdoise, Joe Picasso did a fantastic job of bringing this to life and making it feel like a true video game adaptation. It's one of those ones where, like I said, I really like the level that some of these VPX developers can get to with these games. It's pretty exciting. Let's see here. Yeah, I agree, Rebel. It is extremely awesome. It is one of those things that's just like, why is this not on other games? Why do we not incorporate those things there? Monkey Island and Pokemon are extremely great. I've got a lot of like I said, I've got a full playlist dedicated to this. You Ed, do it, because it's just fun. It's really fun. Gamer Fridge, good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you stopped by this morning. All right, let's see. Who's next? Who's next? I think we've got... Loaded Weapon. Okay, so this is interesting. Loaded Weapon normally does a lot of the side blade mods that you see being released in the community. But he actually released a couple of really solid N-Fozzy updates to tables that he has been a big part of or actually developed himself. But he took it upon himself to give us an update to his original version of The Legend of Zelda. Another great game with a great video game adaptation. It's got the the whole mechanic of taking out all the bad guys in the center, popping drop targets, to open up the Ganondorf drop target that then you have to hit the castle, and there's a backdoor entrance, and it's a cool little table. But to bring in Fozzie to this has historically been heavy on the JP Solace physics, and this incorporation of Fozzie into the system was really, really exciting for me. I really enjoyed the update, and putting the pup pack along with it. I had to take the time to recode all the triggers into this version of the table. But for me, I love the pup packs. I'm a pup pack whore. I've admitted that freely on many occasions. And so I took the time to recode the table with the pup pack triggers, just because this was such a huge upgrade over, from a play style standpoint, over the JP Solace releases for this. So again, very, very cool. Yeah, it is. It definitely is worth the time and effort. It is. Oh man, I'm glad to hear that. It's nobody likes to be stuck at work on a weekend, and I know that's kind of your life. But what are your thoughts on the loaded weapon side blade mods? Ed, I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I'm just not. I'm not into all of those side blade mods. I don't download them. I tried them initially. It just the POV is never right for my cabinet. The view is not there. Yeah, it's a scenario where it's okay. Now I'm going to show this table, guys, and I don't have video of it, but Loaded Weapon also did an Fozzie update for Space Cadet. And this is cool. Don't get me wrong, it's great. But there was a new reimagining that just released this week, either Wednesday or Thursday, that blew my freaking mind with how good Space Cadet can be. So while we're looking at the Loaded Weapon version, I gotta tell you, don't bother with this version. Go get, if you're gonna have a Space Cadet, go get the new version that just came out. And I wish I would have written down whose name it was that did it, because it is good. The music, the sound, everything on that bad boy is so good. It's got a visual reimagining. The pup DMD that's included with that is just, it's badass, guys. Go get it. It's an experience you got to try. I can't tell you how good it is, and I apologize, Loaded Weapon, that I'm showing your table but promoting another one. But yeah, oh dude, it is so good. It is really good. RB Wings, if you can't or are not able to get Legend of Zelda working, feel free to reach out to me, brother. I'm more than happy to help you. You know that. But yeah, so the one that I really want to stress about how good it was Baywatch. This brought a table that I have struggled with for a long time to the next level of gameplay experience. It is so good. Having Fozzie control over these flippers on Baywatch is phenomenal. So thank you, Loaded Weapon, for taking this to that next level, to where I actually feel like it's like I'm playing the real thing. This really did bring my enjoyment of Baywatch to the next level. Obviously, I've got pup packs and color DMDs and all of that, but that's how I roll. I just do that. But this update was so good. I can't tell you enough how much better it is to be able to actually aim a shot that I know I can shoot and hit, and actually hit it the same way that I would when I'm playing the real machine. And while I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination, it definitely made it much closer to being able to do it. Yeah, it does, and that I think will be an issue that I think that will get cleared up. But yes, it is overall a good upgrade and is pretty solid. So again, Baywatch guys, go check it out. Definitely worth the time and effort. I definitely think that you will enjoy playing this machine. Okay, so me too, man. Like I said, I'm pup pack whore. That's me. Happy to do it. Definitely don't tilt. You've got quite a few of those out there that you don't want to hit the tilt button on on the pup packs. Last week, Michael B did a video talking about the At Games Legends Ultimate 4K and where is it, and he showed off a couple of videos or a graphic where it was comparing the Legends Ultimate Original and the Legends Ultimate 4K side by side. What are the benefits? What are the, it was good. It was a good conversation and good discussion. Pam Anderson, Pammy, yeah. It was really good conversation, but it got me thinking, what really is the next big thing? While we have seen some really cool stuff, and in fact, the Double Dragon from Media One Up has certainly caught my eye. But I'm really looking at what can I replace my At Games Legends Ultimate 1.0 with, because it is getting a little long in the tooth. It's gonna need replacing. And this is a good question, Hollywood. I'll come back to this here in a minute, but I want to finish my thought here with regards to what is coming with regards to a home arcade and what really I'm interested in. And so, like I said, he did a really good job highlighting Legends Ultimate versus Legends Ultimate. But right now there is another product on the market or coming to market that I think needs some attention and needs to be brought into the conversation of a replacement for my Legends Ultimate Multicade. And that is the GRS FU edition. And so I really wanted to go back, and you're right, Ed. I think it is definitely in there. And again, Vader, I appreciate it, but and I'm in the same boat, right? Though that eventually some of these parts are going to become completely obsolete. We've got the scalar board, which is not even a thing anymore. That is in the 1.0 that is now integrated into the main board, and so it really is kind of, like I said, heading towards the obsolete. But what I wanted to do real quick, and let me go ahead and real quickly answer the question about the Zaccaria. Hollywood, I am not a fan. The deluxe tables are meh. We got a few decent ones with regards to the retro tables that were given to us free, so I appreciate what Zaccaria is doing, but the entire the attitude of Magic Pixel towards cabinet owners is complete bullshit, and I really just won't and can't promote supporting that company when they don't feel like people like me who own a cabinet is worth their time. And there are members of the community who are moderators for them that are complete D-bags, and I think I've made my thoughts on that perfectly clear. Anyways, what I did is I wanted to take a look at the features, because I wanted to take a look at the two products that I really am interested in and why I'm interested in them and what differences are are there? Is it pricing? Is it features? I don't know. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at it. So, if we start with the price, right? We don't know. There are two different options. You've got the 19-inch version with an automatic rotating screen, and you've got the 26-inch version for the Glenn's Retro FU. What I don't know is whether or not those are going to be additional price points or not, but we'll just assume that they're the same for the point of this discussion. Ed, swappable decks is definitely something that I'm thinking about, but I'm in a situation where I've got a standalone machine for all of the different control styles that I use. And just to be really clear here, I am a customer of both Glenn's Retro Show, Thunderstick Studios, whatever you want to call it, and At Games. I've got a ton of products. I've got the Tron Stick, the Star Wars Yoke. I've got the iArcade control panel mod. And on the other side, I've got the Legends Ultimate 1.0, the Legends Ultimate Mini, Gamer Minis, two of them, the Legends Pinball Micro, the Legends Pinball 1.0 or HD, whatever you want to call it. I like both of these manufacturers. I won't lie. But when I look at this from an objective outside, I'm looking at features and looking at the value proposition. The price for performance is really important to me. So if we say, okay, hey, the price is $1,300 for the Legends Ultimate, $1,000 for the GRS. Cool. You have a 27-inch monitor, 4K in the Legends Ultimate, a 26-inch monitor, and a 19-inch rotatable in the GRS. Both of these, or all of these machines are running the Rockchip 3588, so no huge difference here. The coin door, while I am a huge fan, if you saw in the background here, guys, I'm a huge fan of the real working coin door. I think it's a really cool feature. And you get that with the GRS. You get a fake little faux door on the Legends Ultimate. That being said, you can get a real working coin door to add to Legends Ultimate for about $60 from X Arcade. So that is something that's there. Then we start talking about the LCD marquee. And this is where things start to get a little bit off, guys. I love the LCD, the bit pixel LCD that I've added to my Legends Ultimate 1.0. I loved it even before it became the bit LCD. I like my Sam's Club AOU with OTG hack. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have made the statement that I whichever machine there is, it really doesn't matter what their OS is or how they're doing, even though that's a discussion point here. I'm going to be plugging a PC into it. But as I was saying with the marquee, I've actually bought the Pixelcade LCD. And the big deal here, guys, is that while it's included with the Legends Ultimate 4K, it's not included with the FU. And this is not a cheap component. If you look at the Pixelcade site, Al Linky is selling this LCD for around $600. Can you get the LED for $250? Yes, but we're still looking at a big point-to-point comparison, and it's an additional $600. So now we're talking about, hey, okay, I've added a $60 coin door to the ALU, so I'm at $1,360, but I've now had to add a $600 LCD display to the $1,000 GRS. So now I'm at $1,600. Both of these machines have USB ports. Both of them have spinners. Is the Pixelcade the only marquee for the FU? Ed, that's a good question. I don't know, but right now that is what GRS or Glenn is has been billing. So it really seems like that is the only option, but I'm sure other options, being that it is PC compatible, will work. So you could probably get something cheaper, and quite honestly, you could probably get the At Games bit LCD, and it will probably work. I know it works just fine with my current PC setup, so that is also an option. But I wanted to just throw out what is currently being marketed. Trackballs, both of them have this. You get the illuminated one on the GRS versus the normal one on the At Games. That usually does require some level of a shim kit to be able to fix. Buttons, I think this is a big one. This is one where I've said, hey, modern games, especially fighters, need 8 buttons. These are the coin ops with the bit LCD is big. So having that integration with the LCD and the firmware, I assume the GRS will have something similar. But the 8 buttons, I think, is a critical path for a modern arcade to be able to take these 4K games that are truly coming in on Steam and the other platforms that are arcade-ish or arcade style, and be able to play them legitimately, is going to require 8 buttons. And I think that getting a new machine with only 6 buttons is a big miss from anyone. This is the wrong call. I think Glenn should consider the fact that, hey, he's putting out a modern device. It needs 8 buttons. Sorry guys, that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it. The 4-way, 8-way gate, it's a beautiful thing. I love the fact and how it works on the iArcade. It's a quick, simple button press. Having it be integrated into that is yeah, it's really important for me to have that switcher. Luckily, the switcher does work on the Legends Ultimate, so you could put in another $60 to get 2 switchers onto those. So it's, again, those are just additional value propositions that make it one or the other a little bit different. Yeah, Ed, you're absolutely right. It's something, again, you got to have those buttons, and different configurations for different gaming companies are critical. And it's something, again, that I'm just considering when I'm looking at these products and what is really coming. Again, we don't even know if At Games is going to get this 4K out. FU pricing is still up in the air. With all the tariffs that are hitting, neither one of these companies could be getting anywhere close to these original targets of pricing that they initially announced or are trying to get to. So, yeah. Right? I'm the same way, but again, I'm in that 8 button boat. I'm there, and Gamer Fridge is backing me up on that one. Eight buttons. It's got to be there. So now we start looking at the expandability, and obviously with the GRS, it's going to be able to do whatever you want. It's going to have the built-in arcade system, and it only comes with 1 game, but it's got a downloader, and yeah. So no, that's actually a really, really good point, Fist of Love. It is going to be a modular panel, and you could find that there is an additional cost for an 8-button controller, which, great, fantastic. But again, I'm looking at the base offering and what you get for this price, and where does it make sense for me. Yeah, it's something I think should be looked at least by the GRS and Thunderstick Studio team. Expandability. So here's obviously the big hit to At Games. $200. You got to pay it. You got to pay $200 if you want all the extended features. I think it sucks, but Is it is it terrible? No, but for what you get for that $200, but again, we got it for free on the Legends 1.0 and 1.1, and and some of you even with your hack for your new one, you've got that expandability. So it's a miss in my opinion on the Legends Ultimate, but it's also not out of the question. The other big thing here, I think that is the case. I have heard that. I don't know that it is 100% true because I'm in the scenario of already have it and on a different firmware. So my thoughts are you can get it for free. I think that is a topic for Open Fridge, my friend, because that I would love to hear about. Anyways, again, $200, it's a miss at games, whatever. You shouldn't have done it, man. You shouldn't have done it. Yeah, I agree. Firmware updates from at games was always something to look forward to. We had P-Dubs and uh, blah. Stephen Haywood, I can't even forget his YouTube tag now. Would come on and do Legend Center. It's a great show, and always every week we were there. So yeah, once you open the door, Ed, it's open, and that's what it is. But the other big thing here is the artwork, and whether you like the Killer Instinct Tech Buzz, thank you, Ed. Whether you like the Killer Instinct art or not, I don't hate it, but I also don't love it either. It's a little rough, but it's art. It's not a black gray cab that you have to invest additional money into to actually make it look decent. And don't get me wrong, the FU is fine looking, but it's a black cab. It's not popping, and it is going to add to the price of I think Zabos is what's being advertised, and it's an additional $350. I mean, and yes, you get to pick the art. It can be whatever you want, but I don't know, guys. It is certainly something, and I'm not artistic, so I'm not a big thing. So yeah, it's and this is a really good point, Hollywood. Don't care about the artwork, just need the best components. So I'm there with you, but again, I also do want my stuff to look good and look nice. And at the end of the day, if you were to take all of the options to upgrade the at games, you're including the $200 unlocking of the features, you're at $1,650. Whereas with Glenn's Retro Show, if you're getting the LCD and the artwork, you're at $1,950. So with current pricing, where it sits, at games is, in my opinion, leading in this discussion when it comes to who's going to take the spot in my arcade for the Legends Ultimate 1.0. Is that a final decision? No. I think both of these are very interesting, but to have somebody tell me that I shouldn't be looking at this, or at games is dead, or any of that, I got to tell you guys, they're still in the running with this 4K. For me, it may not be for everybody. I get it. But for me, I'm still interested. And until the day when the pre-orders come and I've got to put my money where my mouth is, I'm going to watch these very, very closely. All right. So the next topic I wanted to talk about, guys, a few weeks ago, Mario 2 released some virtual pinball tables, and these virtual pinball tables are mashups. And what I've heard is, what the heck's a mashup, right? It's a physics mashup. And what does that do? To answer your question, Doc, are there other options beside these? Like I said, Media One Up is not the same level. It's a different type of product, and the Double Dragon is something that I'm interested in and looking at. But when it comes to a multi-cade replacement for my 1.0, no. Right now, these are the two options that I'm looking at, and it will depend greatly on pricing and final features. So again, we'll keep an eye on it. But I wanted to talk about these mashups and what are they. It's one of those scenarios to where you kind of have to look at the code and understand the code to really get an idea of what it is. So here's an example of the mashup code. And what this really is using JP Solace ball speed and ball physics along with the NFOSI flipper and flipper control physics. I really think this has been a good experience. It is not something I would have expected, but I really am liking the way these two things mesh together. I've always liked JP's ball speed, always enjoyed the faster gameplay, and it keeps me more engaged. But what I really like is now having the control over the ball with that speed. And so we got Willy Wonka, Superman, and the Big Lebowski. And you'll kind of see here in this video as it's going through the difference with the ball speed and how it's different from a VPW table, in that as you're going through ramps and orbits, the ball actually will start whipping and going a lot faster than you would generally expect. But at the same time, you'll also notice here that I've got really solid control over the ball. I drain a lot. I mean, that's how I am. I'm not a great player, but I think this is a really good compromise between the two for the different styles of games that are coming out. And I really, really like this incorporation. Being able to have the directional physics that you would expect from NFOSI, but still getting that speed of the ball coming through in a way that makes you react quickly. And I really enjoy it. You'll see, like I said, that with this, we're doing a lot of ramp work, but over on the Justice League and Superman, same deal, right? It's going through those loops and the ramps. It feels really good. I was quite happy with it. I heard some negative comments about it, like, why would you do this? It doesn't make sense. And I just wanted to highlight what it is and why it makes sense. And it, you know, as a game player, I like games that are fun. And I think the two of these points with the ball speed and the flipper control makes for a really fun gaming experience. And I've been really happy with it. I think that we got some really cool additions for this. The Big Lebowski. I mean, again, I'm going to talk a little bit about controversies and tables and so forth. You know, we know that Big Lebowski is still technically a production table, so whatever. I'll discuss that here in my special report, but this is fun. I mean, this is really cool. I think the Dutch Pinball Company has a winner of a real table, and I think you know, while the coding and gameplay is all Marty O2 coding, and this is his original, this is really fun with these physics and ball speed. It's a cool game. I really enjoy it. So again, I don't know how much like the real machine it plays, because I've not played the Dutch Pinball version in real life, but from a layout standpoint and the rules that Marty O2 put in, I like it. It's great, guys. I certainly recommend going out and checking the Big Lebowski if you haven't done so. Yeah, and Ed, that's kind of yeah, and it's really funny you say that because that is exactly what my special report is all about. Um, is it spot on to arcade controls? RB Wings, yes, it is. It is a fantastic cabinet, worth every single penny of the high price tag that I paid for it. But I love it. It is a great machine, and I've played it pretty much daily since I got it. I think a couple weeks ago, or last week, or the week before, I actually went 7 full consecutive days without turning it on for most of my machines, just because of work. But it's a machine that I like to pop on and play. It's really really fun. Yeah, so like I said, Ed, I'm going to go heavy into the bear. And so when you talk about poking a bear, I'm going to pull out the the iron out of the fire and stick that freaking poker right into its eye here later. So did you have to tweak a lot of controls for it? I did not. In fact, I have tweaked absolutely no controls for it. It has been 100%. The only game that I had a problem with was 720 because it doesn't have a jump button configured. Something Buy Stuff could fix, but again, I've modded. I created a small little spinner mod that has a rocker wheel for 720 specifically, so I play that on the Legends Ultimate anyway. But yeah, that's kind of where where we're at with that. All right. So I want to shut that off. I want to talk about a game I've played. If you are friends with me on Steam, you will have seen me playing this obsessively. I have played the first Descendant since it released in beta for 600 and some odd hours that I've put into this game. But at the end of January, they released a new update that just kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back. This game was already a looter shooter. It's already a situation to where it's free to play, but they have taken it to where you have to grind on top of grind on top of grind on top of grind, and that level of commitment is to give you an opportunity to spend money to not do that grind. And I think that the developers of this game have pushed that too far. It's now excessive at a point that I don't think it was necessary. The content they were adding was fine. It was fun. But to have to continue to replay the same content over and over and over, it wasn't something that I could continue doing. It was just like, okay, hey, I've invested 600 hours. 600 hours, people. I played this game, and I was done. It was time to uninstall it. I took it off of my ROG Ally. I've uninstalled it from this PC, as you can see. And it's too bad because I really enjoyed playing it. Doc Doob was on here, or is here, and he and I played it with Bob and Faye. Had a really good time playing that game for a few weeks. They got tired of it. I kept playing, but it's a fun game. It's evolved very well, but they've stacked way too many repetitive grinds on it, and it's just one of those things that, hey, absolutely no longer recommend this game. It was, I think, I was on the Late Night Live with Garage Gamer, and I said this was my Game of the Year choice. I am now at this point saying, don't do it. Don't do it. Got too advanced for me. And that's where I'm at, Doc, is that, it was there. It's too much of a grind and too much to keep up with all of the things you've got to do. And it just got to a point where I was done. And I just wanted to share that because, like I said, I pumped the game up. I thought it was a good overall game, but at this point, it's just I've moved on. Moved on, guys. Moved on. Let's see here. Oh yes. So this is really, guys. I've been kind of planning this show for several weeks, and you guys are talking about Demolition Derby and Super Sprint and all the games that I play. I love it. And you'll notice that I'm big time off-road person. While Super Sprint's great and I play it, I love it. But yeah, it's one of those scenarios where artwork wise, I'm an off-road guy, but all of these games that you guys mentioned are on here. They play fantastic and are really fun. So but as I've said, I've kind of been planning this show for a couple weeks now. I've been waiting on a release that finally came. It came a couple days late, but I was pleasantly surprised that it finally came out. And what I'm talking about, for those that don't know, is Rambo. That's right. Team Tuga released their pub pack for Rambo. This again is a Mardio 2. The real Iron Man. That's right. But yeah, this came out, and what you're watching is a video not with the N-Fozzy mashup physics. This is the original release of the Tuga Pup Pack version of the table. They did just, yeah, Billy Woods, we're on the same boat. This is not that version. It just released the other day, and actually I updated it yesterday to the N-Fozzy version, the mashup version for Rambo, and it just plays better. But all of the visuals that Team Tuga added, the call out adjustments, the pup pack triggers. If I've said it on many of my pasts, I am a fanboy of the Tuga team. Their pup packs rock. I just am constantly blown away by the way they are evolving pup pack creation and making significant improvements to really good tables. But again, you got to be a fan of pup packs, and there are a lot of people that aren't. They just feel it's not a necessary thing, and you're right, it's not necessary, but I certainly love them. Yeah, so like I said, this is a great table. Mardio 2 did a good job with it, and Team Tuga came through and knocked it out of the park with this one. I'm very, very happy with it. It was well worth the wait. I was on Facebook with the Tuga team saying, are we there yet? Are we there yet? So I actually had a lot of excitement for this. I'm a big Rambo fan, love the movies. Some of the later ones were kind of meh, but they still had the obviously awesome gratuitous action and violence that they all have. But yeah, anyways, this is a great release. If you haven't done so, I definitely recommend you go over. If you have not updated to the the mashup physics, also recommend going and grabbing that update as well. Definitely plays much better. But again, I just can't spew enough about how great the Tuga team is and how good this pup pack came out. So, and we'll go ahead and shut that down. All right. Let's look at my agenda items. I got through it all, guys, and look at the time on that. Perfect timing. Um, I really wanted to try to get through this in about an hour today, guys. Keeping it short, but giving you my thoughts and updates on what I put on my virtual pin, what I'm doing in PC gaming, what am I looking at for the home arcade from a purchase standpoint. Um, yeah, me too. Good grief. Fantastic table. It's so much fun, and especially with the pup pack and all the call outs to the movies, and it gets a little verbose at times, but that's how the movie was. And yeah. So guys, I really appreciate you all stopping by today. I am going to leave you with a special report, a little bit of virtual pinball controversy. But that's how we're going to go out today. We're going to go out with a little bit of pot stirring. Again, thank you all for stopping by today. Those of you that are catching this on the replay, feel free to leave a comment down below. Don't need you to subscribe. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe. But I'm not in this for subscribers or to be a YouTuber. I'm just here because I have opinions and I like to share them. So leave a like. Let's get other people in here to hear my thoughts and give their feedback. Leave your feedback below. And again, enjoy the special report, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Good evening. I'm Meatball Saucey. Tonight, we will be exploring a virtual pinball controversy that has existed for the past 7 years and continues to impact creators today. So join me now as we look into the dark side of virtual pinball. Our story begins in 1985. Gary Stern, after the sale of Stern Electronics, helped to found the Data East Pinball Company. Data East Pinball produced pinball machines from 1987 to 1994 and was responsible for popular games like Tales from the Crypt, The Simpsons, Batman, RoboCop, Back to the Future, and many others. By 1994, Data East Pinball had become the second largest pinball manufacturer in the world. Amidst plummeting sales across the entire pinball market, Data East chose to exit the pinball business and sold the company to Sega. Sega Pinball produced hit games such as Baywatch, Starship Troopers, Godzilla, GoldenEye, and Apollo 13. While pinball had seen a resurgence in the early 1990s, a long-term trend was that of decline, and by 1997, Sega Pinball was one of only 2 pinball manufacturers remaining. In 1999, Sega had decided to exit the pinball manufacturing business. Gary Stern purchased the Sega Pinball assets and renamed the company to Stern Pinball. Today, Stern Pinball is the largest manufacturer of pinball machines in the world. According to the Stern Pinball website, the period of 2010s through 2020s, the company experienced growth and prosperity. But, in order to achieve this success and get through the Great Recession, in 2009, Stern Pinball had to sell off a portion of the company to Haggerty, Peterson and Company, a private equity firm tasked with helping Stern to streamline manufacturing costs, expand product offerings through licensing agreements, and enter new markets. One of those new markets was virtual pinball. In September of 2015, Stern Pinball entered into an agreement with Farsight Studios, the developer of the popular commercial virtual pinball platform Pinball Arcade. Farsight would be tasked with creating a Stern-branded pinball arcade software to allow the sale of Stern Pinball to the virtual gaming market. In December of 2016, Farsight released the Stern Pinball Arcade to the public on the Steam platform. 2016 also saw the Stern launch of the Ghostbusters pinball machine. By December of 2017, Ghostbusters was added to the virtual Farsight Stern Pinball Arcade. Just 3 months later, in the spring of 2018, the unthinkable happened. A team known as Monster Bash hacked the proprietary Farsight code and released a visual pinball recreation of Ghostbusters to the visual pinball community. This marked the first time that a production pinball machine was freely available to the visual pinball community. Upon learning of this breach, Farsight Studios, and Stern by proxy, began their defense of the wrongful use of their proprietary intellectual property. Cease and desist letters were issued, official takedown notices were sent, and legal action was threatened. This rocked the virtual pinball community. Eventually, the Monster Bash site was taken down, and the download of Ghostbusters was removed from all public repositories. But unfortunately, this heinous act of intellectual property theft has scarred the virtual pinball community. Today, the mere mention of Ghostbusters is considered taboo. Arbitrary, unspoken rules have been placed upon the VPX developer community. All of this in an effort to not upset pinball manufacturers to the point of driving unwanted tension to a hobby that already skates a thin line of copyright infringement. You can still find the remnants of the Ghostbusters incident on most of the major VPin repositories in the form of backlash files, pinup popper packs, and front-end wheel images. I do not condone the actions of the Monster Bash team. While they personally have benefited from their inappropriate actions, I also own a legitimate license for Ghostbusters in the Pinball Arcade. Now with that out of the way, let's take a closer look at some of these virtual pinball rules. To do a table when the manufacturer would still be able to gain profits from the table is a dick thing to do. Unless one's wish is to finally kill off the barely there pinball industry piece by piece. 5 years after it has ceased production is probably a good bet that there won't be any financial harm. Unless the manufacturer has entered into a licensing deal of some sort with a developer of virtual pinball machines like Zen or Farsight. Okay, but most, if not all, modern recreations being offered today are coded from the ground up, so the risk of backlash, like we saw with the Ghostbusters, is relatively low. I obviously do not want to see any pinball manufacturers go out of business. So really, what does waiting 5 years after production has ceased actually accomplish? I mean, we've seen many vaulted machines be removed from the vault and re-enter production. Anytime a manufacturer can enter into an agreement for virtual recreations of their product. And the reality is, at the end of the day, the use of layouts, images, sound, music, or any other intellectual property not authorized by the holder of the IP all has the potential to damage a manufacturer's finances and could cause backlash on the virtual pinball community at any time. Unfortunately, this crazy 5-year rule is also being used as a basis for a double standard actively being promoted by the community. Some authors are being celebrated for this activity, while others are being ridiculed and outcast. I would like to urge the VPin community to keep this in mind before passing judgment on content creators who are freely giving their time and knowledge to us. I have been Meatball Saucey. Good night.